three different areas that I think, or three different topics, not necessarily to do with XRP, but what I think we're going to have to pay some serious attention to, because again, we're getting some warning signs here that something just is not right in all markets. We've got gold up. Some warning signs here that something just is not right in all markets. Well, at least we know that's working. Let's see, did it put me in the right? Good, it put me in horizontal too. So it's already a good start here this evening. But we need to look at the fact that, one, gold was up $95 an ounce today. And that's a big tell sign that something bigger is going on behind the scenes. Silver's starting to break past a very key resistance level that will allow it to start pushing towards 34. And once that falls, then we're going to be talking about 36, then 40 and 50 and even higher. And now that the price is at $33.22, you know, we're on the right track in the start of this. But it's definitely speaking of something deeper. In the 4-hour time frame, XRP hit a rejection point at the Deathcross area, but that doesn't mean it can't come up any higher. It just means that initially it got a rejection. It's hit exactly in the area. If you were part of the morning update, it was about a 21 or 22 minute update this morning. We talked about what looked like the retest at $2.15, and we hit that perfectly so far. And that retest wouldn't be from a bullish perspective, that would be from a bearish perspective, and it would be breaking down some of these other areas. We got some program advancements as far as some technology that I'll have starting not tomorrow's update, but for Friday's update in the morning. I should have it all set up. I don't know how many of you were in there in the morning update, but I did put in some of the profits that I made from this channel, from the members of Tom's Army, and just from the support and advertising and things like that. Which again, I thank all the members of Tom's Army. I bought tablets to be able to do this program. I used to do it on my phone, and through the generosity of all of you, I decided to put some stuff back into the show, which was the best decision I made. And now I'm into the second, well, it's the newest tablet now with the Samsung, but the evolution will be tomorrow, sometime around, it should be before 8 tomorrow night. It can be as early as noon. But I'll have a 32-inch, it's like a TV, but it's like a monitor TV. But it has the Android operating system, so I'll have the Google Play Store, and I'll be able to download TradingView from there. But the thing about this is it's a touch screen. So right now I have my 65-inch TV behind me, but it's not touchscreen by me. Drive safe. And, you know, I have to mirror it from my tablet, and you'll see me use another tablet as I'm recording on this tablet. So it's not 100% to the moment. It's still, I really like it. That's what gave me the idea of how I started doing the updates in the morning. But now I'll have a touchscreen starting Friday. When I do it from that perspective, like in the lives, I have a touchscreen right now, but you can only see my face, you know, and those, you can see a lot of things. So I'm trying to make some big upgrades for the channel. And then I did not, you know, what really I was enjoying seeing, I was really enjoying reading too, you know, with, I liked a lot of the comments in today's video though, where was this at? I guess when I go to my own channel, you know, I got to go here. I mean, there wasn't like a crazy amount of views on the video. I mean, this only shows 6 something, but I like the comments. Like, I really like the comments. I see a lot of people were talking about, saying about the gun show and things like that, but I acknowledge the comments. It's good to see some of you seen that my dedication in the gym wasn't going unnoticed, so I did like it. I did like the comments, you know, it has a certain way of making you feel good when you start reading comments like that. But we got to go over a lot of stuff. There's some world news going on. There's a big spending bill that was passed. There's, you know, 1.3 trillion, and there's several million that goes towards the advanced efforts of this war. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff. There is a lot of stuff. Oh, I know, Robert, because I was talking about the touchscreen, and then I went to do it on the TV. I'm like, oh, damn it, I don't have it yet. This screen is not touchscreen. So, it was certainly a moment. It was certainly a moment. But I want to get through and say hi to some of you as everybody gets settled. And I don't really want to say everything I want to say until, you know, this guy and my analytics right now. I would greatly appreciate if you guys did in fact hit that like button. It's been awful today trying to push my content, except for the short. They're really trying to mess with my algorithm. I put a short out, it gets 2,000 views in like an hour and a half. But my other content, it's barely pushed. So it's pretty interesting. So a like would do us. Mwah! So we'll welcome in Crypto Cooter. Good evening and thank you for being in Tom's Army for 3 months plus with the XP Media, along with the Cannabis Podcast. Joseph Euler, Frankie Fresh, Define Group, McMichael. All of you have been in Tom's Army for 3+ months. I greatly appreciate that. Jorge, thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XP Predictor and being a very trusted mod. He says, everyone hit that like button and consider subscribing to Tom's channel for the best TA on YouTube. Oh, I love it. Thank you so much. I approve that message. I certainly approve that message. Wales, Josie Wales, welcome in and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. The Gatman, thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years now with the XP 589 Moon badge. The 4-year badge is there. I don't know if I should call it. I don't know what to call it. I don't know what to call it. I guess we'll figure it out as they all come together. But I don't even have it yet, so it's not time just yet. Not time just yet. But in a few weeks, I know that badge will be able to be shown. Let's see. But we got to get moving. We got to get moving. I just want to make sure I say hi to everybody. That's one of the beauties, though, when a lot of people are losing hope. We're making a lot of money here. I don't know if you guys notice precious metals, but Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. The Gatman says India just did an airstrike. It's getting big. It's getting big. The Gatman says I'm making big upgrades. I am certainly trying. 32-inch, you are a lucky man. Hey, 32 inches is nothing to scoff at. You know? It may not be the 65-inch TV, but you know. I see what you're saying, though. I'm working with a big piece, huh? It's all an illusion. Welcome in. I appreciate you being in Tom's Army for 3+ months with the XP Meteor. Mark Caston, good evening. Thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year. Robert Young, yes, I already read that. You laughed. I laughed, too, when I did it. So I'm in frustration because I really want that TV to be a touchscreen. But the new one is going to be, and the cool thing is it's almost like a robot. I don't know if any of you went to school like I did in the 90s. I graduated in 2002 from high school. And do you guys remember the little rolling carts? How it has like a rolling cart and then you'd see like the TV setup. You get all excited. You'd be like, oh, we're watching a movie or it's a projector. Look at this. And for some reason when they wheeled that thing in, it made you smile. But it's not a projector, but it's set up where it's got like wheels on the bottom of this thing. And then on the top, it's got a stand, so I can literally wheel this thing around my house. It's wireless. So I can go anywhere I want. You know, I can just go anywhere I want. It's like a... So I could do my update outside with the screen behind me as I'm videotaping me like this, and I'd have my screen behind me. So, you know, it might be like this, but it would have the big screen, and then right behind me would be my projector. I could literally do it in the middle of the freaking... I could do it anywhere. You know, I could do my live anywhere where I have my good wireless connection. Tom, what do you think about Jasmy Coin coming out of its descending wedge now? Looks like it's trending upward with higher highs and higher lows. I don't know. I've been looking at Jasmy for a while. I can take a look at some point. That's that's the comment I didn't get sick of reading. That's the comment. The Gatman says Tom was showing his guns this morning. You know what's funny? Until I watched it back, because I seen Julie stop and look at the screen, and until I watched it back, because Facebook did me a huge service when I posted my video on Facebook. The photo that they used for my thing, it was awesome. My arm looked like it was the size of my friggin' screen. But no, it's been 3 years in the gym, and you know I fast 16 hours a day. But it's been a whole dietary change, so it's been a crazy evolution to where I'm at now. You know, I'm 41, but I actually weighed myself in the gym, which I never do, just out of curiosity, because my clothes are so small now compared to what I used to wear, what I have to buy. And I had my backpack on, which is a hiker's backpack. I had this jacket in there, which is this Columbia jacket, which is pretty heavy. I had water, I had all my stuff, like my old clothes and stuff. And it said I only weighed barely 182 pounds, which means without my shoes and all my stuff and even what I was wearing, I'm probably like 175, which seems so weird because I put on so much muscle. But it's awesome. I love it. I love it. Let's see. James Zula, can you tell us, will ZBCN retest 0.001? Well, I have that one on the screen, so that one's easier. But ZBCN, the big thing is it's got to get over 2 cents and hold. Otherwise, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to come all the way back down, but let's just put it this way. If it has to come back down, it's going to end up, it might not be 1 cent, but it could retest 1.4 because technically we broke up and filled that cup, and now it could make a very decisive handle. It could make a very decisive handle, for sure. But, you know, it came around. Now, is it going to be aggressive and do something like that and then power out? Or is this like a death sentence? You know, we don't know yet. So it's going to be one of those two choices. And then it would kind of split its way. You know, you'd have to decide. So I don't know. If it's bullish, it should hold around the 1.4 cent mark, in my opinion, because you'd retest the early cup that it broke out of and then just back test these areas. Now, technically, maybe it doesn't need to come all the way down there because it fell from here, but I would be more comfortable if it came down to 1.4 if it was going to come back down. Now, if it comes below there, it's dicey. There's really, I mean, it could come to 1 cent, but once you invalidate that handle, there's no point for it to hold. And then it would be like 2 premature breakouts out of a Barrett's pennant that just never materialized into anything bullish, and then it just broke through to the downside. A lot to be determined there. Certainly a lot to be determined. It was getting colder here, but like I'm in between because it's like hot and it's cold when I take this off, but it's been like, our weather sucks here. It's gone from one day it was 80, the next day it was 37, then we went to 71, then for a few days we were like 40s. Today it's like 63, I think. What is it? 60. And tomorrow it's going to be 75. Then the next day it's barely going to hit 50. It's like if they really want us to get sick, they're really doing a good job. But we always do that in Michigan. But for the, wow, 102 people now, I thank you. Only 41% of us have hit that like button. I could really use your help here. But as I say, you know, you only hit the like button when you hit the like button. And honestly, I don't think it matters too much. I think when we have less people, we shine better anyhow because we get more word. Good evening. 5:58 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Tuesday, May 6th, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. Some of the audience would say I reside in Dunsville, and I like that. I like it a lot. It was hailing in Vegas today, the Henderson area. Wow. Hopefully no significant damage from that, my friend. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. DGB. Let's see. And it sucks because XRP, we'll get to DGB in just a sec, but it sucks because XRP is stuck in the same damn spot because we had this move up and like it was so predictable this morning. Who was here for the morning update? Well, you didn't even need to be here for the morning update, and this is why I don't know. No, I don't need to make convincing titles. If people want to watch, they watch. If not, they come watch later. But I said XRP small bullish move to retest 215. Expected if rejected, falls below $2 would be the question. And then I did a position update, but not what you would have thought because I was updating on buys from Monday for precious metals and mining stocks this morning, and they just ended up materializing as the day went on. So the mining sector had a really good day in a sense for bounce back, you know, and I feel good about where I told everybody I bought it because Fortuna was down this morning. First Majestic was only up like 1.25%. And then they just, Pan America moved up. They all started moving up. But I know they're so undervalued. That's going to be, I've got a golden ticket and nobody gives a fuck. I could tell you till I'm blue in the face, but it's not a crypto token. Nobody will buy my trash, even though it's real gold and silver. Can't even hold my XRP. You know, that's how I feel sometimes. Listen to Tom. But then I start looking at things and I'm like, you know, how insane am I? You know, that holding went from 5 to 30. Like, that's not insane. And then it's like, I wish more people followed along. Because I understand crypto. I really do. I really, really do. That's why I trade it. Bitcoin dominance is at 65.1%, friend. 65.1. Holy sh... Oh, man, we're making that climb to... Remember my... I hope we don't make this even if we're bearish climb. Remember I threw it out there long ago. That's the... I hope we don't come back up here. Even if we're bearish, my lord. We are breaking out. That is dangerous for altcoins. We probably are going to take a dump at some point. I mean, it feels like we have to. Whether it goes up or down, I'm okay with my decisions, but I've got a lot of dry powder right now. I've got 3 bands worth of dry powder. Or no, not 3 bands, because a band would be 1,000 for some. 30 bands? It's crazy. Oh, it's going to be catastrophic. It's going to be catastrophic, Daniel. And it's the reason why I started talking about... I started talking about oil on Friday. Does anybody remember the oil talk Friday? And then on Sunday when we talked about what companies we could get? Murphy's is one of them with that dividend. And I kept it up here, but Murphy's oil is at 6.1%. And we got to try to find a spot where we're going to start to find this. And like, I don't push precious metals as much as I do now for no reason. I made a silver stacking video back a couple years ago so people could try to buy in at some lower value. I mean, gold, when we were doing those, gold was at like 1,800 in most of those videos, or 1,900. Silver, it depends when you watch it, somewhere at 22, somewhere at 25, somewhere at 18. But, you know, just, it's crazy where we're going to end up going here. We are the referee. They haven't told you, but in that weapons stimulus package, the bill that they are proposing and passing for 1.3 trillion, there's a weapons package in there for several different countries, and it's several $1 million per country. So who's perpetrating? The U.S., as always. I can't say much because I don't want to get banned, but when you look deeper in it, it's just the way it goes. And I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to get banned. I think, and a lot of people ask me, why don't I don't talk about a lot of things because I think, you know, our information, what I do here is much too valuable to, you know, be talking about some of the speculative stuff that may be true, but it's the easy road to getting, you know. So, Murphy's oil, no, it doesn't work like a crypto. That's actually oil, like it's like a exploration slash. You'll see the Murphy gas stations, but that's actually the Murphy corporation. It's the oil corp. And no, it doesn't work like crypto. They actually pay a dividend. And like they actually have a solid book, but you know, you got to look at the charts too. Like I've looked at them, I'm looking at them, and I'm trying to figure out, you know, 6.1% is pretty solid. And they're basically paying 32 cents a share, it looks like, on their quarterly dividend, which means if you had 100 shares, you know, you're getting 32 cents a share. So you're getting about 32. But if you had 1,000 shares, you get 320 bucks. It looks like, but you know, that's a play that would come when oil starts to reverse. And we know oil today, it was actually up. Because I know we just flipped. So the clock just flipped. So gold taking the early dive after now the corrective. But, you know, it can go one of two ways. We could have a quick slingshot. And that's why I was talking about that 215 area. If we could get past there, you know, we could have that little slingshot up and retest some upper boundaries. Because we're technically, you know, as bad as we want to talk about XRP, or as much as we want to say, oh, it could come down, is as much as it could come up still. We're in between, in my opinion. And I really believe this. We're really in between. Looks, I like it so much better when I have the screen behind me for these purposes. I really do. I can't wait until I have that touch screen behind me. The crazy thing is I can't even do the lives like that even if I wanted to. But I think the lives, this is the real value for the live. I think it'll keep it different. But what I think is going on, It's like we're bouncing behind, right, or bouncing around the demand zone in here and distribution. So we're not sure what the fuck we want to do right now. Excuse me. We're not sure what we want to do. So we're trying to figure out where that demand is. And is it in distribution? But right now we're bouncing in between. So, like, I think we've nailed exactly what's going on here. Now, whether or not, you know, you describe it the way I do, or if you look at it the way I do, it works the way I set it up for what I see. Yeah, gold was up about 95 bucks on the day. It's down about 20 bucks since the flip of the clock at 6. We'll see it. Hi, Tom. Can you please explain with a bit more detail about why you, what did it say? Why you skip some speculative stuff, even if, okay, yeah. Some stuff I skip because I've been doing this for 4 years and there's code words you can't use on social media, especially YouTube, that'll get you banned. And there's hot topics that if you start talking about, you know, the algorithm will boot you out. So if I talk about something that I'm not supposed to, I will get banned. So as long as I keep it crypto related, we're fine. You know, except when I did one thing when I talked about humans, and I can't get into it very deep. But you know, you have like rigs and mining and stuff, and I just said they were gonna, so do the math. You know, you have to get electricity from somewhere, and I simply made an assertion and I got in trouble. So, you know, you can't really do too many things. But, so I stay away from hot topics, like something that might be like that. That's why, Ryan. That's why. Plus you need me here. You need me here. But yeah, I mean, been a pretty wild road here in the last couple of days, actually a couple of months, this entire year. Because the big eye, what have we all been paying attention to? What have they told us to look at, not to look at? They keep telling us, look at crypto, look at crypto, look at crypto, nothing to see over there. Look at crypto, nothing to see over there. Look at crypto, store of value, there is no other one. Look over here, store of value. Look over here, the country's going to run on this. Look over here. They keep telling you to, and subdiverting your attention away from something else. They keep telling you this is the new store of value. This is the new gold. This is the new way. This is the new global currency. It's always that. This, and this. If I did, it could not be on the YouTube platform because I am still me. So when you put in your information at the end of the day, they would still know my social security number so they could backtrace. I would have to go on a completely different platform to do that kind of stuff, which, you know, I could. But like I had a lot of people ask me about my vitamins and stuff. I actually did it list by list of what I do, and it's in on my homepage now, like literally. I took the time and I actually shared every single link from where I buy it. And I got so many questions about this. I'm like, I really want to see how many people actually talk about this. Because I was serious at a time about starting a side station, but you know, it is what it is. But I started putting in here. So if you go into my videos, and then even if you go to the comments, I pin the comments. Just read down, and I put it. It's not on here. It was on there. Oh man, where the hell is it at? Well, I'll be darned. It's not on the first one. Well, never mind. I stand corrected. It was on there. Ooh, I wonder if it doesn't put it on there. See, now that would be something cool to look at after the stuff is on there. I never look. Well, I do sometimes. What the hell is this? Nah, fuck it. I don't want to waste too much time on this because I got so much stuff to go over. We still got to do some reading, too. I want to see if it stayed on. Oh, yeah, see? That's the stuff right there. I put it on the bottom with the links of exactly the page I bought it off of. Yeah, that's on there. But I'm trying to, like, I don't know. I think a lot of people need to see things a little different. And I know there's the criticism about a lot of things. But again, I can't talk about all that a lot either because then they'll say you're, like, trying to make a health statement. So I just decided to share the link one by one. And then you guys can make your own decision. Yeah, I don't like Rumble. I don't like the way it's set up. I feel like I'm in a, not to be frank, I used to live in a trailer park, so I can say this. But I feel like I'm doing I feel like I'm doing my broadcasting from inside of a tin can. Like there's no options, and I feel like I'm just, I don't know, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't, something doesn't seem right there. And the fact that, what's his face, that was a guy's name. Fuck, I can't remember his name. I don't remember. Marlon Brando or something. I don't remember his name. But the fact that he's like the face of it and he's controlled opposition, it doesn't make me feel good. So, I mean, when you know stuff, and then you can never not know stuff. So, you know, you kind of fucked. Let's see. I mean, DGB is in a very dangerous spot. I told everybody the perfect spot to sell it, remember? If you didn't want to get rid of it up here or up here, if it broke down out of this, you had a perfect opportunity, because once it broke that and got the rejection, it was perfect. It was just too easy to see that it was going to go from right there. And then you had a perfect... I'm not sure it's going to hold. This is my problem. In crypto, I keep saying risk assets in this kind of environment are typically not bullish. Now, eventually, they're going to hardcore reverse. Eventually. But as it's starting to figure things out, and this could be the start of something here, you know, eventually we're going to have something. Something's going to happen. I mean, we're early week, and you know, by mid to late week, we've been getting screwed at the end of the week. So, eventually, something will happen. But the way these candles are ending right now, like for the... Let's see where we're at right now in the daily for XRP very quickly. It's basically hanging right now. That's not the greatest when it starts the next candle. Weekly... I mean, that's got to do a lot of work here in the next, what is that, about 5 days? Yeah, we got a lot of work to do here. We've got a lot of work to do. The monthly. Oof. I mean, there's work to be done. There's work to be done. That's an absolute squeeze right there. That's an absolute squeeze. So we'll see if we can squeeze back to the top. We've got some volume drying up, which is good. You know, but what does that mean? Is that only drying up because we can't find buyers? Because it's a lot easier to find sellers in a risk-off market. And like, the untold truth, gold and silver is risk-on and off. So you can buy gold and silver in risk-on or risk-off. Gold and silver doesn't give a rat's ass if it's risk-on, risk-off, honestly. So, you know, we got some stuff to deal with, honestly. And now we've got some kind of, you know, just a change here. I talked about this last year with Ripple, how they were going to stop with transparency when it comes to talking about, like, they had a month... Every quarter they would come out with their report, but the SEC used it against them. So I said, I think it was in 22 or 3, I can't remember now, that they were going to eventually stop these reports. I think we've come to that time. So Ripple to stop XRP reports after SEC used transparency against them. So Ripple has announced plans to sunset its quarterly reports and change the way it reports its XRP holding after previous transparency efforts were used against it by the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC. According to the company Q1 2025 market report, it launched the quarterly reports to provide transparency into Ripple's XRP holdings and to offer insights that few others in the industry were willing to share. However, the report claims that this reporting has not had the intended effect and that Ripple's transparency has been used against the company, most notably by former Securities and Exchange Commission leadership. It has not yet been announced exactly what form the new look reporting will take, but CEO Brad Garlinghouse took to X to reassure those with an interest in Ripple and XRP. Our commitment to transparency doesn't evolution. We will continue ripple.com/XRP, he wrote. He added Ripple and XRP related ongoing updates will also be shared through existing social channels rather than collated for a single end of the quarter update. And then Brad Garlinghouse says this on his official X. Q1 2025 was an incredible quarter for Ripple, with our acquisition of Hidden Road, an end to the SEC case, not to mention institutional interest in XRP ETPs globally. That's wow. That's what we're going in on all the products. Anyhow, same set of products. Moving forward, the XRP market reports will look a little different. As some may remember, the objective of publishing these reports started in 2017 was transparency into Ripple's holdings of XRP. which unfortunately was then used against us by the Securities and Exchange Commission and others. Our commitment to transparency doesn't change with this evolution. We will continue to publish our XRP holdings on ripple.com/XRP. Ripple and XRP related ongoing updates will also be shared through existing social channels rather than collated for a single and the quarterly update. Ripple said the start of 2025 saw major momentum for Ripple XRP and the broader crypto industry. The Q1 2025 market report is here. Highlights: SEC and Ripple reached an agreement to end the lawsuit. Hidden Road acquired for $1.25 billion to scale XRP ledger. The good news about that is we already know about it because we stay on top of the news. That's why you have to watch and pay attention to what's going on, whether by me or by some other bun. Just make sure they're not, just manipulating the fact. So Ripple's Q1 report also states that it will publish an additional perspectives and insights as more institutions engage with XRP. Last month, the SEC filed a joint motion with Ripple to pause its appeal against the firm. The motion sought to reach a negotiated resolution to the 2020 case that alleged that Ripple's XRP token was unregistered. The case almost concluded in 2023 with the ruling that mostly favored Ripple. However, the SEC appealed this decision in 2024. It was also revealed last month that Ripple Labs donated $4.9 million to Donald Trump's January inauguration, just 3 months before the SEC began pausing appeals and reducing fines against the firm. What does that say? Protos has contacted Ripple to find out more about the exact form its revamped reporting will take, and we'll update if we hear back. News that I've seen. I'm trying to remember if there's anything else as the rest of the day shakes out for the last hour and 43 minutes. I'm trying to remember. I felt like there was something else that I'm missing. Wallets holding 10,000 coins or more, or 10,000 tokens equals 300,000 now. Ripple XRP at $2 is an absolute gift. 25 million pledge from Ripple to set benefit teachers and students across the U.S. Crypto blah blah blah. A lot of tax incentive things that Ripple's doing, which I would do too if I was a big business. Corporation could pour $330 billion into Bitcoin treasuries by 2030, says Bernstein. Well, the only Bernstein are the bears, and I don't really, I don't feel like reading what he says because that's all speculation and conjecture. Ripple Q1 2025 XRP spot volume surge. Oh, I love that's something. So, Ripple's Q1 2025 XRP spot volume surges while on-chain activity drops sharply. XRP, the fourth largest cryptocurrency by market capitalization, is attracting growing interest from institutional and retail investors in 2025. Ripple's recently published Q1, you see all the BS we have to go through just to find something of use. Published in Q1 2025, XRP Markets report offers deeper insight into the altcoin's performance. The report reveals a striking contrast. Spot trading volume surged, while on-chain activity on the XRP ledger declined significantly. Spot volume and investment flows into XRP rise sharply. According to the report, XRP spot trading volume remained steady in Q1 2025, with the average daily volume reaching 3.2 billion across major exchanges. Notably, trading volume spiked at the end of January and early February. It peaked above 16 billion before gradually declining in March. Binance led with around 40% of total volume, followed by Upbit 15% and Coinbase 12%. And there it is with Binance, Bybit, Upbit, Crypto.com, Coinbase, OKX, BitGet, Bitstamp, others, Bullish, blah, blah, blah. The share of USD and stablecoin volume traded through fiat pairs rose from 25% in Q4 2024 to 29% in Q1. This increase indicates growing demand for fiat trading. Well, I mean, that's one way of putting it, or it just means that people are less willing to hold their cryptocurrency right now and they're putting it in a stable coin so that they can use it later. I mean, that's another way to put it. They never say that, though, for some reason. I don't know why they never say when the stablecoin holdings go up. It's okay to say that crypto holdings have been sold and people are waiting for their next opportunity. I guess it sounds sexier this way, I suppose. The increase indicates growing demand for fiat trading. XRP's price also posted an impressive rally, reaching a peak of $3.40, its highest since January of 2018, and outperforming Bitcoin and Ethereum during the same period. XRP-based investment products also attracted strong inflows, with year-to-date totals reaching 214 million, nearly overtaking global Ethereum funds. However, one analyst pointed out daily trading volume has plummeted by more than 86% over the past 6 months. Absolute truth. XRP volume collapsed from 60 billion in December to under 8 billion now. Retail got flushed out, crypto analyst Steph said. Despite declining intraday volume, the overall market context in 2025, marked by positive regulatory shifts, has helped XRP maintain its appeal. For example, the SEC officially withdrew its appeal, closing a multi-year lawsuit. Meanwhile, signs of growing institutional confidence, including Franklin Templeton filing for an XRP exchange-traded fund, and the U.S. CME launching, which is the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, launching XRP futures, and Volatility Shares seeking approval for 3 XRP ETFs. On-exchange XRP activity sees a sharp decline, however. In contrast to the active spot market, on-chain activity on XRP Ledger has dropped significantly. The report shows a 37.06% decline in the number of transactions on XRP Ledger, from 167.7 million in Q4 2024 to 105.5 million in Q1 2025. New wallet creations fell by 40.28% from 709,545 to a pesky 423,727. The amount of XRP burned as transaction fees also declined by 30.89%, and you don't want them to be burned. For our overall goal, we need these XRP in circulation. I've said it before and I'll say it again. They cut it in half, I run away. The supply, you can't have it. It completely defeats the whole basis of why I invested and what my plans are and why I think it can do what I think it can do. If they cut the circulating supply in half by burning half the supply, I'd have to seriously consider what I was thinking, because I was way off. You know, and then that makes me skeptical, because I'm like, well, how the fuck could I have missed it that bad? Something ain't right here. Meanwhile, decentralized exchange DEX volume dropped by 16.94% from 1 billion to 832 million. Data from Def Llama reveals the XRP Ledger's total value locked TVL has remained flat in 2025 at around 80 million. Monthly DEX volume hovered around just 3.3 million, which seems disproportionately. Sorry, I was trying to respond to that comment, because right now at 214. I had like two things in my head. 214.8, we're testing the day high, and this is normal. This is completely normal right now. We're trying to see how we react here, coming towards the close, but we're testing the daily high right now. So this is a big moment right now to see if we can get any kind of momentum. Disproportionately low given XRP's position as the 4th largest crypto asset by market cap. However, the report suggests that Ripple's acquisition of Hidden Road could help boost XRP Ledger's on-chain activity. Ripple acquired Hidden Road for $1.25 billion, one of the largest market and acquisition deals in crypto history, driving more institutional use cases for RLUSD and XRP Ledger. The report stated Ripple's Q1 2025 report paints a two-sided picture. Spot trading volume surged, reflecting investor confidence, while the drop in on-chain activity raises questions about XRP Ledger's practical usage. So, I mean, I thought that was good. See, there's some stuff. Crypto analyst calls Wave 5 to send XRP's price above $6. Now, interesting, because we talk about Wave 5 and the potential of what it could do when it becomes time. When it becomes time. I wish it wasn't Dark Defender. This guy's a tool case. 630 for the final leg. Well, let's see his numbers. With the XRP price struggling to break out of consolidation, there's still a lot left for the altcoin to do before a definite uptrend can be registered. So far, it seems that the XRP price has already made its way through multiple support levels. However, a wave count is yet to begin that could send the altcoin soaring. According to XRP analysts, this could mean the cryptocurrency has more upside to come, especially as the market is expected to usher in an altcoin season. So the 5 wave counts coming for XRP price. So blah, blah, blah. So to expound upon, could be headed at next. This comes as a retest 222 level and the eventual rejection. The result of this is a bearish retest of support at 213. I think that bearish retest is actually at like 215.6. But you know, who's A level that could be the defining moment for the bears. Nevertheless, bullish expectations are still rampant. As the altcoin is expected to move through 5 waves, the first of these waves is naturally expected to be bullish. The crypto analyst says the XRP price correction is now nearing its end, and this could mean the start of this first wave. This wave, if it plays out correctly, could push the price to $2.80, so he's talking about a smaller wave. Just so weird because he's talking about a new wave, but this is technically in a consolidation of the... I don't know. See, this is what I mean. This seems weird. I'm not even reading this. How can you be on a fresh 5 wave if we haven't even finished the initial 5? What do I know? What do I know? Maybe I don't know anything. Yeah, see, a lot of people always leave when I read. I always find that interesting. I always find it interesting. Let's see. I mean, that monthly looks brutal right now. We've got to get some help to the top side. We've got to get some reversals here. We've got to find some volume. The 4-hourly here at the end of the day, you know, we've got to get past here. And I could see us getting past here and trying to get a quick rejection up here even if it is bearish. We've just got to get some upward momentum. Because it's not over yet. If we start breaking down back into these lower zones, yeah, then it becomes very dangerous. That's why we really need to start moving. XRP does need to start pushing here. You know, if we start breaking below 206 now with this updated track, that's where it gets a lot very dangerous. And like we have the Deathcross here, it gets dangerous. You know, and now like the 50 crossed through the 200, the 100's crossing through the 200, the 20's already crossed. Like this is confirming a lot here. So it's it could get dicey here. Now, if we could break up, you know, let's put this in real time. Let's say we get hot here. If we get past 223, then we can start pushing back towards that 240 area and try to get out of this death trap. But we got to get out of here. Like, we really got to get out of here. And I mean, like, it's Tuesday right now. If we want something to happen, I would like to see us trying to push 240 by, like, Thursday, Friday. Otherwise, we're going to get stuck in that same eventual cycle of, well, we're up to 225 by Thursday, and on Friday we might tap 230, and then up here we come back down to 212. And it's just that same, and then eventually, you know, you run out of these short-term buyers. So we just need some kind of accumulation, that's all. And instead of distributing to the sellers, we need the sellers to, like, be non-existent, and we want the buyers to be coming out rampantly in these areas. This hasn't happened yet. It doesn't mean it won't. You know, so you kind of got to just go on a strategy. ALGO, I mean, it's fallen hard here, but it's still within the same setup. It's just we never broke out of it. And now it's almost like it's like crypto is trying so hard to lure as many people as possible, knowing that it could potentially drop the hammer. And like right now, if it drops the foreseeable hammer on ALGO, instead of having a 19-cent ALGO, you're gonna have a 14-cent or 15, and then people are gonna say, "Damn it! It just went down 25%. I could have just waited." And then the converse thing is, if it goes back up to retest, you got a 22-cent ALGO, and oh, damn it! I missed a 20%. So, you know. Well, we're not going to reach a deal with China for a while, let me tell you. They felt pretty disrespected, but, you know, what do I know? Maybe they will. You know, maybe they will. But I just don't think anything's going to happen. Forget all these deals. Nothing's going to happen with crypto until 2 things happen. QE, rate cuts. That's it. Everything else is just, you know, we could say whatever we want, but QE and rate cuts, that's it. Until that happens, you're not going to get this market to surge. And how do you get QE and rate cuts? Dump the markets. Have gold and silver go out of fucking control to the top side. That's what we need. They're not going to go into a rate cut decision if the markets are looking good and cut them. They might raise them. God knows we need them to raise them like 20%. Like, we need a 2,000 point basis raise. I'm dead serious. Like, we need 2,000 basis point rate hike. That's a 20% increase on interest. That's what I would do. If there's no rate cuts tomorrow, we're going to drop. Absolutely. It does lead us into a possible pump, though, going into tomorrow. buy the rumor, sell the news kind of a thing. So, I mean, that's why I say there's opportunity here. That's why, you know, I talked earlier, can we break that area this morning? And we're trying to see what we can do in these areas, but you'd have to get above that, you know, 225 to feel pretty good. So, oh, the Fed, that doesn't matter. You could put any dope in the Fed chair. And whether it's Jerome Powell or some other schnoz. Jerome Powell made like $37 million in the last calendar year. He's just like the next guy's going to make $37, $47, $50 million a year. He's going to say whatever the central bank says. He don't give a rat's ass about the truth. He says how much money, I can't go on talking because I'll get banned. It's kind of like, you know, the ones you go to and you trust with your health. Same thing. It's what we're trained to think, not what we're trained to do. Anyhow, man, that Bitcoin dominance is crazy. That is crazy. You're right. The Fed answers to nobody because the Fed is our central bank. The Federal Reserve is the USA central bank. No, we don't need a crypto chair. We don't need any kind of chair or nothing. We don't need any kind of congressional overhead. We don't need nothing with crypto. It's fine. Once they start, I'm telling you guys, like, we're going down a slippery. I've been saying this since 23. Everybody wants and cries regulation, and we need this, and we don't need shit. We don't want any of it. Nothing. Nada. Zero. Even the CFTC starting to regulate it is too much. Crypto was supposed to be separate from government overreach. Why does everybody forget about that? Oh, protect us, daddy government. We're so fucking fragile. Come on now, people. The only ones stealing from you are the government. They're the ones who put in the hack jobs. You think real people are that smart 99% of the time? No. Come on now. Seriously. I'm just saying, when I was a kid, you could smoke on an airplane. Did the plane go down? No. So come on now. Like, I just think sometimes they're keeping us safe. From what? Who are they keeping you safe from? Nobody. They don't do shit. Just like the roads look like shit. Sometimes we just got to take accountability. I'm just saying. I want more oversight control. You'll get what you get. You know, once they have so much overreach, you know, that's where, you know, oh man, it gets so much. Oh, the older I get and the more people I see that just fall victim, it's at a certain point, you start to, isn't it funny when you get older? I know not all of you are older. I'm not even older like some of you, but I am 41, so I am older than my 20s and 30s now, and my teens. But it's like the older you get, the more you realize why it's such a breath of fresh air when you see somebody who's young, who's not influenced, who still thinks there's hope. Because you see the joy, and it's like, we got to make sure that person stays as innocent as possible for as long as possible. But so many people want to break the innocence. Like, everybody wants to break the innocence and the joy of somebody who hasn't seen all the bullshit yet. We should be shielding these people. These people are sacred. If they haven't been broken and their spirit's not broken and they've still maintained their innocence, we should preserve them at all costs. But what do? We ostracize, we outcast, we try to put them through the ringer. That's what happened to me. You know, and it still happens. But it's like, I know the agenda and what we need to do, and we need a few people to lead that with the proper way. Like, I could have been the guy who led a cult. I have that kind of a voice. I could have been the guy who ran a church the wrong way. I have that kind of not just appeal, but I'm very, I can manipulate if I wanted to. And it's like, you know, I was given the power of certain things, but with certain gifts and realization, you also have to have integrity. That's why I always use the word integrity, humbleness, spirituality. You got it all comes together. So that's why, if you're here, I know we're coming towards the end of this live. It's already been 50 minutes. I ramble and it goes quick. But the point of this community is positivity over negativity. I know a lot of you have commented about the fact I don't talk to the haters and the ones who put the, you know, the, I don't know what you want to call them anymore, the hecklers, the I don't know, the people in the audience. but I don't even acknowledge it anymore. Like, I don't know when the last time I did, but I see the comments. I just don't say anything, and I see it gained a lot of respect from some of you. We need a guy who can shake it up. Well, you're never going to get that guy. You got to get somebody like me in there if you want that. You're just not going to like what you see. A lot of everybody says we need to shake it up, you know, and the bottom line is, if you really want this to be done right, I could tell you exactly how you do it. One, we have to go back on the gold standard. So if you don't have any gold or silver, you're fucked. Two, we have to raise interest rates worse than Volcker did back 20, 25 years ago, 30 years ago. We need to raise rates from 3.25, 3.5 benchmark to 25 or 30. And people are, oh my God, Tom, 25 or 30%, you're a cocksucker. And it's like, am I? How much money do you have in the bank? Oh, I got 100 grand. Oh, you got 100 grand, but you're mad about a 30% interest rate? Oh, my house and my cars and well, you should be paying cash anyhow. And that 30%, hello, that's the savings rate. Our 4.25, the 3.5% benchmark, that's all you're getting for your savings rate. It's the biggest con job in the history of human civilization. My grandparents were getting 25 and 30% in their savings. I'll bring your money to the bank. Oh, hell yeah. I'll give you $10,000. I get 30% a year for doing nothing. Hey, bring your money to the bank. I get $30 for having $100,000 in here. Not like, you see, I mean, there's no reason. That's what I mean. Now we put the money in the bank because it's the safe thing to do. The hell it is. You can't even get more than $5,000 out at a time if you're using a debit card. God forbid I need to pay a big expense. I'm going to have to go over there and fucking have the... You know, I'm going to have to make an appointment for my own money. Currency in this matter. But you see, it all spirals out of control. My whole point with crypto is the Department of Education was fine until we created the Department of Education. The Oversight Committee. All of this stuff was fine until we created a government program. Now we're creating government programs for crypto. Like, where the fuck does it stop? You want me to pee in a cup to buy my fucking crypto next? Like, where should I inject the chip at? Like, what would you like me to give up so that I can own this stuff? You know, like, at a certain point, it turns into all bullshit. And once it becomes too much bullshit, we're screwed. Oh, me too. I would love 40%. Oh my God. It would change I wouldn't have to do a damn thing ever again. Well, maybe some stuff. Oh, man. But, you know, I think I've hit my limit. I can't. That's about it. I'm going to end it here before I get in some real trouble. I appreciate each and every one of you. Nobody joined Tom's Army today, which is fine. That is fine because we have a lot of members of Tom's Army. And because of the generosity of the members of Tom's Army, I've been investing back into the show. It's going to be better and better and better. By Friday, we're going to have a touchscreen. It's going to be a 32-inch touchscreen. It's almost like a TV. But it's going to be massive. And it's not as big as the 65-inch screen that's behind me. But that's not touchscreen. And believe it or not, it's very hard to find one that size. But 32-inch, it's going to be nice. BITUNIX, I always talk about this, so don't get caught up like I did, like a jabroni back in 21. Don't get caught with your pants down, bent over, and literally swindled, pickpocketed, and then I walked away not knowing what the hell was going on. I was roofied. So on Uphold, I had about $18,000 after I was selling my DGB, XRP, and XLM, small amounts like VeChain and Zone, blah, blah, blah. And when I sold, I lost almost $2,000. And I sat there, I'm like, my heart fell through my chest. And I'm like, what the fuck? Because you don't really notice it as much when you're doing small buys over time. I noticed it there. And if I would have just known about BITUNIX, they never went away even during the lawsuit. And the fees are non-existent. Like, they're so cheap. That same sale would have cost me less than $50. And it irritates me so much to this day. So consider it. Lever trading, there's slightly more fees, but no KYC VPN. It's not an exchange that you download or deposit or withdraw from a bank. And it's from asset to asset, like from a crypto exchange or a wallet, things like that. HOTCOIN, their customer service has improved tenfold over the last year. I would consider them for spot, not so much leverage. I would just do it on BITUNIX. You can send a donation, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Join the Telegram, DGB on crypto.com, also Albank. So there's two different ways to kind of do that. I know it's on some other ones, but these are the ones I'm familiar with. And then I seen we had a new member of Tom's Army. Holy smogolies. Who was that? Thank you so much, James Dula, for re-upping in Tom's Army for your second month with the Dusty's Outhouse Crypto News. What a beautiful day. No, but you're the second month now. Second month. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a blessed one. From the bottom of my heart, remain humble, show humility, and don't forget to give thanks to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. We'll be back before you know it. 93.